It's been a while since I've done a story time, guys, so I thought I'd do a little story time on my addiction and how it started. So I was 13 when I started drinking Bacardi breezes, sneaking them around the house, that type of thing. Drinking in the park with my friends, the usual, smoking and experimenting with stuff like that. And I was always getting blackout drunk when I was a kid. Like when I was 13, like I would always be the one that was like hammered. And it kind of always went that way whenever I had a drink. I never knew when to kind of pull the plug. So anyway, fast forward to when I was 17, me and my mum had a massive argument and she couldn't deal with me anymore. I was a really mad child with lots of mental health problems, um, lots of issues, and I went to live with a friend in Cardiff. Said friend was a lot older than me, in their 30s, and they like to drink. They like to drink vodka pretty much every day. And the one night she had some friends over and they racked up a line of Coke on the table. Remember the table, glass table with like wooden sleepers underneath. And I didn't want to be the odd one out, I was like keen to get involved in everything. So I did it. And unbeknown to me, I absolutely loved it. The first time I ever tried it, I was like, what the fuck is this feeling? This is brilliant. Um, and from that day onwards, I have never experienced the same high. I have chased that same high for 19 years. So I knew I was getting hooked on it because every time we went out, I was like, I want a line, I want a line, asking people who had it, like begging almost, and that's when I kind of knew I had a problem with it. And then I would make friends with people that had it. I would make friends with people that had it, and I would bother with people that had it. Um, anyway, drink then. I tried to just drink, not use Coke, and I just drank myself into oblivion, became quite violent, provocative through drink over the years. And there were periods where I stopped, pregnancy, stuff like that. And I wasn't an everyday drinker, didn't drink in the mornings. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to drink in the mornings. And I didn't always take Coke with it until we hit lockdown. But even before that, I would always make plans to have a blowout with Coke. It was always on the agenda. It was always in the back of my mind that Coke had to be a part of my drinking relationship. And then lockdown happened and my life went to shit. I was furloughed for a year from TUI and I was at home. We had that summer and we went through so much gin, so much vodka, literally drunk ourselves into oblivion. And with that, I bought so much Coke. Like literally, it was ridiculous the amount of Coke I bought. And it was all good and well, and he wasn't working, and you were at home, and kids weren't here; they were at their dad's, or they were out playing, or whatever it may be. But life went back to normal then. Lockdown finished, and we resumed normality. And I really struggled with that. I couldn't get back into a routine, and I still had a massive Coke addiction. So I was using Coke in work in some places that I've worked previously, worked for the council, used to take Coke to work at the council. I took it to Legoland once, like genuinely, that's how bad it was. And I took it to funerals, took it to weddings, because I knew I was going to have a drink and it had to be there, And yeah, it was just horrific. And then I decided then enough was enough. I had tried to get sober so many times and failed, and I knew that I was going to end up dying if I didn't stop. There was no two ways about that. My health was deteriorating. I was going to the toilet, it was bright yellow. I was retching in the mornings and stuff, and I just felt really poorly. I'd have these horrific, like sharp shooting pains in my chest. Um, my nose was falling apart, constantly run down. I'd have laryngitis where I'd go for 4 days on the sesh with no sleep, and I'd lose my voice completely. So it was like a whisper, and I'd gained loads of weight. Like I gained like 4 or 5 stone, because I'd not eat for days. Then I'd binge eat for days, and then I'd take Coke again and drink. Then I'd go another 4 days without it, and I was in that hamster wheel for so long. I'd feel like shit for 4 days. I wouldn't touch it, and then as soon as I felt better, I'd be back on it again, and it was just like a never-ending hell. And I honestly thought that giving up drink was going to be so hard. I thought giving up drink is going to be super hard because it's everywhere. But removed the argument I had to have in my head every time I had a drink. I wanted a bag of Coke. So for me, the only way to stop that was to stop the drink, because I never knew where to draw the line with drink, and I never knew where to draw the line with Coke. So yeah, I am now 9 months sober and clean, which apart from pregnancy is the longest I've ever been. And this time it feels different. The first time I got sober and clean, I wasn't ready. I didn't feel like I wanted it. I felt like I was missing my old life, and I don't feel like that now. You know, I actually I'm socializing and I am out and I look around and I see people drinking, I find it sad that we're in a society that feels the need to now drink to bring out the side of their personality. Like, I realize how many people I don't actually know, because the version of them I knew was always off their head on drugs, always off their head on drink. And you remove that and you're a completely different person. I'm a completely different person away from alcohol, and I'm a completely different person away from Coke. So all the people that I thought I knew, I really didn't know, because they're not they would be a completely different person if they were sober and clean. You are the best version of yourself when you get sober. And like, I enjoy life so much more. Like, life is in HD. Everything I do now, I'm present for it. If I go to a gig, I'm there to watch the music. I'm not there because I want to go and have a sniff and a drink. Back and forth, the toilet's missing half the gig anyway. But everything is just so much more enjoyable, you know? And because I've taken away the choice to have drink, I don't have to have that internal battle all the time about how many bags am I going to get? Am I going to get a bag? You know, how many drinks am I going to have? It was easier for me to just say, no, I don't drink, and call it a day. There is more to the story, obviously. I can't tell you how much has gone on over the 19 years, but I feel like I've been in a coma for 19 years and I had no idea what living life was like until giving up alcohol. And now I finally feel free. That's the only word I can describe. I feel like I've been removed from this prison and this hell. Um, and life is beautiful on this side. And I just wish everybody could get to that point where they can see you don't need drink to absolutely thrive at life. And I wish everybody could have a taste of what it's like to be sober, because it is absolutely amazing. Like, life is amazing. And you'll be amazing as well because of it. Every part of your life will improve. So that's a bit of my story. Sorry if it's bored you, but just thought I'd share because there's lots of new followers on my page. But yeah, if you've got any questions, please comment and I will do a video to reply.